The trial room was cold. Hyun felt it in her bones as she stood straight, hands at her sides. 50 pairs of eyes stared at her, some with hate, some with pity, none with love. Hyun Do, daughter of General Do and Ambassador Su, you have been found guilty of high treason against Earth, said the head judge. His voice bounced off the walls. You gave secret weapons plans to alien forces. You have betrayed your planet, your people, and your family. Hyun did not look down. She did not cry. She had cried enough in the 3 months she spent in the holding cell. Now, she only felt empty. The court sentences you to lifetime exile. You will be stripped of Earth citizenship. You will be sent to Outpost 7. You will never return to Earth again. The sound of a wooden hammer hitting wood rang through the room. It was done. Guards took Hyun by the arms. As they led her out, she finally looked at the front row. There sat her father, General Do, his face hard as stone. Next to him, her mother, Ambassador Su, who could not even look up. Father, Hyun said. As she passed, General Do did not move, did not blink. I have no daughter, he said. The words cut deeper than the sentence. Hyun had known this would happen. She had known the price when she took the files from her father's private lab, when she sent the proof of Earth's illegal bioweapons to the Galactic Council. But knowing did not make it hurt less. The prison ship was old and smelled of rust and sweat. Hyun sat on a hard bench with 20 other prisoners, all going to Outpost 7, all never coming back. A man sat down next to her. He was thin, with dark eyes that looked tired. I'm Tae, he said. His voice was soft. Engineer. Stole company secrets. You? Hyun. Gave Earth's bioweapon plans to aliens. Tae's eyes widened a bit. The general's daughter? I heard about you. Not his daughter anymore, Hyun said. She pulled out something from her pocket. It was small and silver, with tiny lights that blinked blue and green. But I took something else from him too. What is that? Tae asked. Neural interface. Experimental. My father's lab was working on it. Hyun put it back in her pocket. Guards. Didn't check. They thought I wouldn't dare take anything else after what I did. What will you do with it? Hyun looked out the small window. Stars streaked by as the ship moved faster than light. I don't know yet, she said, but it might be useful where we're going. Outpost 7 was worse than the stories. A huge asteroid, with tunnels dug through it. The air tasted like metal. The lights were always too dim. 500 exiles lived there, mining rare metals from the asteroid belt. The first day, the outpost boss gave Hyun her work clothes and tools. You're the general's kid, he said. He was a big man with a scar across his nose. Thought you'd be taller. I'm not his kid anymore, Hyun said. The boss laughed. None of us are anybody's anything out here, that's the point. He handed her a pickaxe. Mining level 3, tunnel 22, 12-hour shifts. Food is twice a day. Water when the pipes. Work. Try to escape and you'll die in space, simple. 3 weeks in, Hyun's hands were bloody and raw. Her back hurt all the time. Her eyes stung from the mineral dust. But she did not cry. Not once. Tae worked in the power room. He fixed the machines that kept them all alive. They met for meals, when they could. How are your hands? He asked one day. Hyun showed him. The blisters had burst and were turning to calluses. I can get you some medicine, Tae said. I trade with the supply ship crew. What do you trade? Hyun asked. Tae smiled a little. I fix things for them. Things they don't want the bosses to know are broken. Hyun nodded. Everyone had ways to survive here. I need your help, she said. With this? She pulled out the neural interface. Tae looked at it closely. What do you want to do? Make it work, Hyun said. It's meant to connect to a person's brain. Let them control computers by thinking. My father's team never finished it. But you're good with machines. Why? Tae asked. What's the point here? We're miners now, that's all we'll ever be. Hyun leaned closer. Do you really believe that? That this is all there is? An asteroid and picks and dust until we die? Tae was quiet for a moment. Then he took the device. I'll need tools, parts, time. I'll get what you need, Hyun said. I'm learning who to talk to. Who trades what. This could kill you, Tae warned. It's made to go in your brain. I'm already dead to Earth, Hyun said. What's there to lose? 6 months passed. Hyun learned the ways of Outpost 7. She learned who had power, who had secrets, who had skills. She met Me in Tunnel 18. Me had been a corporate spy on Earth. She could get into any room, any computer, without being seen. She met June in the medical bay, once a famous doctor, now exiled for using banned treatments that saved lives when normal methods failed. She met Han in the supply dock. He could fly any ship, any machine with engines. He'd been caught in a smuggling ring back on Earth. Each night in the small room she shared with 3 other women, Hyun worked with Tae on the neural interface. They added parts from broken mining tools, chips from thrown-away computers. Once, a piece of alien tech that Me stole from a guard's quarters. It's ready, Tae said one night, 1 year after they arrived. But Hyun, I don't know what it will do to you. Hyun looked at the device. It was no longer just her father's work. It was something new, something that had never existed before. We've tested it as much as we can, she said. She sat on her bed and took a deep breath. Do it. Tae's hands shook as he placed the device at the base of her skull. There was a sharp pain, then heat that spread through her head. Hyun gasped, fell back on the bed. Her eyes rolled up, images flooded her mind. Data, information. She could see the power flows through the outpost, could sense the computer systems, could feel the machines working all around her. When she opened her eyes, Tae was staring at her with fear. Hyun, are you okay? She sat up slowly. The world looked different. She could see data overlaid on everything she looked at. I'm more than okay, she said. She looked at her hands. They were still rough from mining, still scarred. But now they could do so much more. This is just the beginning. In the darkness of Outpost 7, far from Earth, the woman they had cast away as their shame began to forge her chains. Chains that would one day bind the stars. 3 years passed on Outpost 7. Hyun was no longer the soft diplomat's daughter from Earth. Her body had grown strong from mining. Her mind had grown sharp from the neural interface. The small device at the base of her skull had changed everything. At first she could only sense the outpost systems. Now she could control them. Lights, doors, airflow, all with a thought. Tae had helped her improve it. Each month they added something new, parts from broken machines, tech from supply ships. Once a piece from a crashed alien scout ship they found on a nearby asteroid. You're becoming something else, Tae told her one night as they sat in her small room. Not just human anymore. Hyun touched the back of her neck where the interface connected to her spine. Is that bad? No, Tae said. He smiled. It's necessary. They had formed a crew of sorts. 5 exiles who met in secret. Hyun and Tae. Me, the former spy. June, the doctor. Han, the pilot. Each brought skills. Each brought hope. We can't stay here forever, Hyun told them during one meeting. This place is slow death. What choice do we have? Me asked. There's nowhere to go. No ship to take us there. Hyun's eyes glowed slightly in the dim light, a side effect of the interface. Then we wait for a ship to come to us. The chance came 3 months later. Alarms blared through the outpost. Red lights flashed. Hyun woke from sleep, her mind instantly connecting to the outpost systems. Pirates, she said, seeing the data flow. 3 ships attacking the main dock. They wanted the rare minerals mined from the asteroids. The outpost security force was small, poorly armed. They wouldn't last long. Hyun sent a message through her neural link. 4 words to her crew. Meet at Dock 3. Dock 3 was small. Used for maintenance ships. No one guarded it now. Everyone was fighting at the main dock. Her crew arrived quickly. Han came last, carrying a bag. What's happening? June asked. Pirates, Hyun said. They're keeping the guards busy at the main dock while a smaller team steals the mineral stores. How do you know? Mi asked. Hyun tapped her head. I can see their ship movements. I can hear their comms. So what's the plan? Tae asked. Hide until it's over? No, Hyun said. Her eyes glowed brighter. We're going to steal a pirate ship. The plan was simple but dangerous. Han opened his bag. Inside were 5 old mining lasers, modified to work. Weapons. Been saving these, he said with a grin. Never know when you need to shoot something. Or someone, Mi added, taking one. Hyun connected to the dock systems. Through the security cameras, she saw a small pirate ship land at Dock 5. Just 2 docks away from them. 3 pirates, she said. They're heading to the mineral storage area through the east tunnel. That leaves their ship empty, Tae said. Hyun nodded. For now. Han, can you fly it? Han looked offended. I can fly anything. Good, Hyun said. Mi and I will secure the ship. Tae, you and June grab supplies. Food, water, medicine, tech parts, anything we need. They moved quickly through the tunnels, avoiding the few guards still at their posts. The alarms provided good cover. No one looked twice at 5 exiles running. Everyone was running somewhere. Dock 5 was empty when they arrived. The pirate ship sat there, engines still warm. It was sleek, black with red markings, built for speed. Guard the entrance, Hyun told me. Then she approached the ship. The door was locked, but locks were just systems, and systems spoke to her now. The neural interface sent out signals. The lock clicked open. Tai, June, get the supplies now, Hyun said. Han, check the ship. Make sure it can fly. As Han entered the ship, Hyun felt something through her interface, a warning, movement in the tunnel. Mi, they're coming back, she called. The 3 pirates appeared at the tunnel entrance. They wore black armor, carried heavy guns. Their leader, a tall man with a scarred face, saw them and raised his weapon. What are you doing at our ship? He shouted. Mi fired her mining laser. The beam hit the wall next to the pirates, sending them diving for cover. It's our ship now, Hyun said. She fired her own laser. The pirates fired back. Energy bolts hit the dock floor, sending up sparks and smoke. Hyun didn't move. The neural interface was working faster than her human thoughts. She saw the patterns in the pirates' movements, predicted where they would shoot. She stepped left as an energy bolt passed where she had been standing. She fired her laser and hit the second pirate in the leg. He fell with a scream. The pirate leader aimed at her. His finger tightened on the trigger. Something strange happened then. Time seemed to slow for Hyun. She could see the energy building in the pirate's gun, could calculate its path. Her body moved without conscious thought, twisting away as the bolt fired. It missed her by inches. What are you? The pirate leader asked, eyes wide. Hyun didn't answer. She fired again. Her shot hit his weapon, making it explode in his hands. He fell back, crying out in pain. The 3rd pirate looked at his 2 fallen comrades, looked at Hyun with her glowing eyes. He dropped his gun and ran. Ship's ready, Han called from inside. We need to go now. Tae and June returned carrying bags full of supplies. They ran into the ship. Mi looked at Hyun. You're not human when you fight. No, Hyun agreed. I'm better. The ship rose from the dock as alarms still sounded through the outpost. Han sat at the controls, his hands moving with confident speed. Where to? He asked as they broke away from the asteroid. Hyun stood behind him, looking out at the stars, free for the first time in 3 years. Away, she said, as far from Earth as we can get. She walked to the main cabin where Tae was checking their supplies. The ship was small but well-equipped. 3 sleeping areas, a kitchen, a medical bay, weapons. What do we call it? Tae asked. The ship needs a name. Hyun thought of Earth, of the trial, of her father's words. I have no daughter. Shameless, she said. We call it Shameless. Tae nodded. And us? What are we now? Hyun looked around, at her crew, at these people who had been thrown away like her, who had found strength in exile. We're free, she said, and we're just beginning. In the darkness of space, far from the world that had rejected her, Hyun felt the neural interface pulse with energy. It was no longer just a device, it was part of her. The first link in a chain that would one day stretch across the stars. Earth had cast her out as its shame. Now the universe would know her name. 5 years passed. The Shameless and its crew had made a name for themselves across 3 star systems. What had started as 5 escaped exiles was now a team of 15, all outcasts, all loyal to Hyun. They took jobs others wouldn't touch. Dangerous rescues. Supply runs through pirate space. Sometimes they fought for money. Sometimes for causes Hyun believed in. Always they succeeded. The neural interface had grown with her. What began as a simple connection to computer systems was now something more. Silver lines spread from it, visible under her skin when she used its full power. It let her process information faster than any human. Let her see patterns others missed. Let her plan battles in her mind before a single shot was fired. Hyun stood on the bridge of the Shameless, looking at the stars through the main window. Her ship had changed too. Bigger now, faster, armed with weapons they had collected from a dozen worlds. Tae walked up beside her. "Message from the Galactic Council," he said. "Marked urgent." Hyun raised an eyebrow. "The Council never contacts us directly." "First time for everything," Tae said, handing her a data pad. Hyun read the message. Her eyes narrowed. "They have a situation. Diplomatic station in the Vega system. Hostages." "Who took them?" He asked from her station at the security console. "The Krell," Hyun said. "They're demanding recognition as a sovereign species." Han laughed from the pilot's seat. "The Council must be desperate if they're asking us for help." "They are," Hyun said. She touched the back of her neck, feeling the interface pulse with energy. "The Krell have threatened to kill the hostages in 10 hours if their demands aren't met. And the Council won't give in to demands," June said. "Bad precedent." Hyun nodded. "Set course for Vega, Han. Tell the crew to prepare for combat." The Council representatives waited at Vega Station 4. 3 of them, all in formal robes with the Council emblem. They looked uncomfortable as Hyun and her crew walked into the meeting room. "Commander Do," the lead representative said. He was tall with blue skin and 4 arms. A Zeresian. "Thank you for coming so quickly." "It's just Hyun," she said. "I gave up the family name when Earth gave up on me." The Zeresian looked embarrassed. "Of course. We have the situation details ready. For you." He activated a hologram showing a small station orbiting a moon. "Krell forces took control of Research Station Vega 12 yesterday. 19 hostages. Mix of Council scientists and diplomatic staff." "The Krell are not a violent species," Hyun said. "They're philosophers, scholars. This isn't like them." The second representative, a small female with feathered skin, spoke up. "This group is different. They call themselves the Krell Liberation Front. More extreme than most." "What are you not telling me?" Hyun asked. Her eyes glowed slightly as the interface scanned the representative's vital signs. Heart rates elevated, stress indicators high. The Zeresian hesitated. "The station, it's not just research. It houses a communication hub. Very sensitive. If the Krell access certain files, you're worried about your secrets," Hyun said. "Not just the hostages." "Both matter," the third representative said firmly. "But yes, there is classified information on that station that cannot fall into any outside hands." Hyun smiled coldly. "Like the information I gave the Council about Earth's bioweapons? That kind of classified?" The representatives looked at each other uncomfortably. "We'll pay triple your usual fee," the Zeresian said. "I don't want money," Hyun replied. "I want official status. Recognition from the Council as independent contractors. No more being treated as criminals when we enter Council space." "That's not possible," the feathered representative said. Your crew includes exiles, fugitives. Then find someone else to save your people, Hyun said, turning to leave. Wait. The Zeresian held up all four hands. We can discuss terms, but you must resolve this situation first. Hyun turned back. I'll need all the station plans, security codes, everything you have on the Krell forces. The Zeresian nodded quickly. Of course, whatever you need. And one more thing, Hyun said. When this is over, I want to meet with the Krell leader, alone. The Shameless approached Vega 12 station with lights off and engines running silent. Hyun sat in a small shuttle with Mi beside her. The main team is in position, Mi said, checking her tablet. Tae has control of the station's outer doors. They'll create the diversion when you give the word. Hyun nodded. She wore a black bodysuit with armor panels, a small laser pistol on her hip. But her real weapon was the interface. She closed her eyes, connected to the shuttle systems, then reached further, connecting to the station's network. She could feel the Krell security measures trying to keep her out. They were good. But she was better. I'm in, she said, opening her eyes. I can see them. 12 Krell. Hostages in the main lab. Guards at all major access points. Want me to tell the team to attack? Mi asked. No, Hyun said. I'm going in alone. Mi frowned. That wasn't the plan. Plans change, Hyun said. The Krell are desperate, not evil. If we attack, people will die on both sides. You can't save everyone, Hyun. Watch me, Hyun said. The station was dark when Hyun entered through a maintenance airlock. Her interface connected to the power systems. Lights flickered. Doors opened and closed at random. Alarms turned on and off in different sections. The Krell guards were confused. They ran from place to place, looking for intruders who weren't there. Hyun moved through shadows, her mind tracking every guard through the security cameras she now controlled. When one got too close, she would create a noise elsewhere, drawing them away. She reached the main lab without firing a single shot. Through the door window, she could see the hostages sitting on the floor. 5 Krell guards watched them. And, in the center, a tall Krell with a red mark on his head. The leader. Hyun sent a message through her interface, making it appear on every screen in the lab. Open the door. I come to talk. The leader looked surprised, angry. But after a moment, he nodded to a guard who unlocked the door. Hyun walked in calmly, hands visible. You are not council security, the leader said. His voice was deep, rumbling. No, Hyun agreed. My name is Hyun. Once of Earth, now of nowhere. The exile, the leader said, recognition in his 4 eyes. The whistleblower, your story is known even among the Krell. And you are? Morth. Speaker, for those the council refuses to hear. Hyun nodded. I understand wanting to be heard, but this? She gestured to the frightened hostages. This isn't the way, Morth. We tried other ways, Morth said bitterly. For 20 years we sent delegations, petitions. The council ignored us. Because you have no leverage, Hyun said. But you're using it wrong. She stepped closer, unafraid. The council sent me to kill you, Morth, to rescue these people and protect their secrets. That was their only solution. And yet you're talking, Morth said. Because I know what it means to be cast aside, Hyun said. Let the hostages go. Then, come with me. Join my crew. We'll find another way to make the council listen. Morth laughed, a strange clicking sound. You would take in more outcasts? That's what I do, Hyun said. The interface glowed under her skin, silver lines tracing up her neck. I collect the broken pieces the powerful throw away and I forge them into something stronger. For a long moment, Morth was silent. Then he turned to his guards. Release them. When the Shameless docked at Vega Station 4, the council representatives were waiting. Their faces showed relief at seeing the hostages, then shock at seeing Hyun walking alongside Morth and 2 other Krell. What is the meaning of this? The Zeresian demanded. Peace, Hyun said simply. The Krell will release a statement renouncing violence. You will agree to formal recognition talks within 30 days. We made no such agreement. You will, Hyun said. Her eyes glowed. Or I'll release what I found in your classified files. About the experiments on Krell DNA. About the real purpose of Vega 12. The Zeresian's 4 hands trembled. You wouldn't dare. I've dared worse, Hyun said. Ask Earth. The council representatives looked at each other. Finally, the Zeresian nodded stiffly. 30 days, and your status as independent contractors will be granted. As they left the station, Tae walked beside Hyun. That was risky. The council doesn't forget threats. Good, Hyun said. I want them to remember. I want everyone to remember. In the darkness of space, the silver lines of her neural interface pulsed with light. No longer just a device. No longer just chains. Now, a symbol of what she had become. Earth's shame had begun her ascent. The message arrived as Hyun was planning a raid on a slave colony in the Centauri system. Priority communication, Mi said, her voice tense. From Earth. The bridge of the shameless went silent. In 10 years since her exile, Earth had never contacted Hyun. Her crew, now 25 strong, looked at her with concern. Put it on screen, Hyun said. Her face showed nothing, but the silver lines of her neural interface pulsed faster beneath her skin. The main screen lit up. An old man in a military uniform appeared. His face was lined with age, but his eyes were still hard. Still cold. General Doe, Hyun said. Even now she would not call him father. Hyun, the general said. His voice was rougher than she remembered. Earth needs you. Hyun laughed. The sound held no joy. Earth threw me away. Found me guilty of treason. Stripped my citizenship. Why would I help Earth now? Because we face extinction, the general replied. The Nexus Pact has blockaded our system. Our trade routes are cut. Our colonies are under attack. We are losing. Hyun said nothing. Just watched the old man who had once said he had no daughter. If you help us, the general continued, all charges will be dropped. Your citizenship restored. You can come home. I have no home, Hyun said. My home is this ship. My family is this crew. The general's jaw tightened. People are dying, Hyun. People always die in war, Hyun said. Why is this war different? The Nexus Pact. The general hesitated. They're not just fighting for territory or resources. They're taking people. Whole colonies gone. Millions missing. This caught Hyun's attention. Her eyes narrowed. Taken where? We don't know. That's why we need you. Your network. Your contacts across systems we can't reach. Your ship that can go where our fleet cannot. Hyun looked at her crew. At Tae, who had been with her from the start. At Morth, the Krell who had found purpose in her crew. At the others. All outcasts. All loyal. I'll consider it, she said. Send the intelligence you have on the Nexus Pact. I'll contact you in 3 days. The general nodded. The screen went dark. Tae stepped forward. You're not really thinking of helping Earth? After what they did to you? I'm thinking of helping the missing people, Hyun said. If the Nexus Pact is taking whole colonies, that's slave trafficking on a scale we've never seen. And that's our fight, Morth agreed, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. But not for Earth's sake. Hyun touched the back of her neck where the interface connected to her spine. Never for Earth's sake. 2 days later, Hyun had her answer. The data from Earth confirmed her worst fears. The Nexus Pact was using stolen people as labor in huge factory worlds beyond the Rim. Millions working in terrible conditions, dying for profit. Set course for Earth, she told Han. We have work to do. The return to Earth's solar system was tense. Hyun's ship, now the flagship of a small fleet of 7 vessels, was escorted by Earth military ships whose commanders could barely hide their contempt. Landing at the main military base outside the old city of Geneva, Hyun felt strange. The gravity of Earth, the blue sky, things she had not experienced in a decade. A group of officers waited on the landing pad. The general stood at their center. He had aged badly since the message. His uniform hung loose on his thin frame. "Welcome home," he said, as Hyun walked down the ramp with Tae and Morth beside her. "This isn't home," Hyun replied. "Just a place I once lived." They walked to a large meeting room where maps and battle plans covered the walls. Other military leaders waited inside. Some Hyun recognized from her youth. All looked older, worried, defeated. "The Nexus Pact has blockaded all major jump points," one admiral explained, pointing to a star map. "Our ships can't break through without heavy losses." "We've lost contact with the Mars colonies," another officer added. "And the mining stations in the asteroid belt. How many taken?" Hyun asked. "At least 2 million, the general said. "Maybe more." Hyun studied the maps. Her eyes glowed as her interface processed the data. The silver lines under her skin traced patterns across her face, her neck, her hands. "Your ships are too big," she said. "Too obvious. Too military. The Pact sees them coming light years away." "We can't fight a war with small ships," the admiral protested. "You can't fight this war with big ships either," Hyun said. "You need stealth, speed, surprise. You need to hit them where they don't expect." "And how would you know their weaknesses?" the general asked. Hyun smiled coldly. "Because I've been fighting people like them for 10 years. Slavers, traffickers, pirates, they all work the same way." She stepped to the main map, raised her hand. The interface connected to the display systems, changing the image. Now it showed not just Earth's solar system, but a dozen others. Trade routes, hidden bases, secret jump points. "The Nexus Pact has a weakness," she said. "They're not a real government. They're corporations pretending to be a government. They care about profit, not people." "So we attack their money," Tae said, understanding. "Exactly," Hyun agreed. "We hit their trade ships, their bank data centers, their resource processors, make the blockade cost more than it's worth." The military leaders looked at each other, uncertain. "It could work," the general said slowly. "But we would need to coordinate attacks across multiple systems simultaneously." "My fleet will lead the main strikes," Hyun said. "Your ships follow, to secure what we take. But I have conditions." "Of course you do," an older admiral said bitterly. Hyun ignored him. "First, I command my ships. No Earth officer gives orders to my people. Second, when we find the taken people, they get the choice to go where they want. No forcing them back to Earth if they choose otherwise." "And third?" the general asked. "Third," Hyun said, looking directly at him, "when this is over, Earth acknowledges what it did to me was wrong, publicly, so no other whistleblower suffers what I suffered." The room was silent. The general looked at Hyun for a long moment. In his old eyes, she saw something new. Not quite regret, not quite respect, but something close to both. "Agreed," he said finally. That night, Hyun stood alone on a balcony overlooking the city lights of Geneva. Earth's air felt heavy in her lungs after so many years in space. The neural interface hummed with energy, processing data from Earth's networks. "May I join you?" a woman's voice asked from behind. Hyun turned. Ambassador Sue stood in the doorway. Her mother, gray-haired now, lined face, but the same eyes Hyun saw in the mirror. "Ambassador," Hyun said, nodding stiffly. Sue stepped onto the balcony. "Just Sue now. I retired last year." They stood in awkward silence, looking at the city below. "Your father is dying," Sue said finally. "Cancer, the treatments aren't working anymore." Hyun said nothing. What was there to say? "He was wrong," Sue continued. "We both were. What you did, exposing the bioweapon program, it was right. We were blinded by loyalty to Earth. And now Earth needs the daughter it threw away," Hyun said. The interface lines glowed silver in the darkness. "Is that why you came back? To make Earth suffer?" Hyun looked at her mother. "I came back because innocent people are suffering, not for Earth. Never for Earth." Sue reached out a hand, stopping just short of touching Hyun's face where the silver lines traced her cheekbone. What did you become out there in the dark? Hyun looked up at the night sky, at the stars where her true home waited. What Earth made me, she said. A weapon it couldn't control. Tomorrow, the war would begin. But tonight, on the world that had rejected her, Hyun felt the weight of the chains she had forged, chains that would soon bind the stars themselves. The first attack came at dawn, not against the Nexus Pact's warships, not against their defense stations, but against something they valued more, a data center that handled financial transactions for 3-star systems. Hyun sat in her command chair on the Shameless. The neural interface pulsed with silver light under her skin, connecting her not just to her ship, but to her entire fleet. 7 ships, 7 targets, all striking at once. Ready, she said. Her mind raced through calculations, timing, enemy movements. Now, the Shameless dropped out of hyperspace just 300 meters from the data center, too close for its defensive systems to target effectively, too sudden for its guards to react. Boarding team, go, Hyun ordered. Tae led the team. 20 crew members in combat suits moving with precision. Hyun could feel through the interface. They didn't kill the guards, just disabled them. The Nexus Pact valued money, not people. But Hyun was different. I'm in their system, she said. Her eyes glowed bright as the interface sent her consciousness through the data center's networks. She could see the flow of money. Billions moving between worlds, taxes, bribes, payoffs. Download everything, she told Tae through the link. Then plant the virus. The virus was her creation. It wouldn't destroy data. It would expose it. Show who paid whom, who profited from slavery, who bought and sold people like cargo. Done, Tae reported 5 minutes later. Returning to ship. Across 3-star systems at that exact moment, 6 other teams were doing the same thing, attacking banks, trade hubs, supply depots, not to destroy, but to disrupt, to expose. The IGA war moved faster than anyone expected. The Nexus Pact, used to fighting conventional enemies, didn't know how to stop Hyun's raids. Her ships appeared from nowhere, struck with perfect timing and vanished before the Pact could respond. Earth's military followed behind, securing what Hyun's fleet exposed, taking back lost territory, breaking the blockade piece by piece. 2 weeks into the campaign, Hyun found what she was really looking for, the location of the slave processing centers. 3 main facilities, she told the Earth commanders in a strategy meeting. Here, here, and here. She pointed to planets in systems beyond the normal trade routes. How do you know this? An admiral asked, suspicious. Because I followed the money, Hyun said. Every slave has a price. Every worker creates value. The data we took from their financial centers showed where that value comes from. The general, her father, studied the map. He looked worse each day, thinner, paler, the cancer eating him from inside. These facilities will be heavily guarded, he said. Yes, Hyun agreed. That's why my fleet will lead the attack. Too risky, the admiral protested. We should send the main battle group. Your ships are too slow, Hyun said. Too obvious. By the time they arrive, the Pact will have moved the slaves or killed them. She's right, the general said quietly. This requires speed and surprise, both of which her fleet has proven they have. The other commanders fell silent. The general rarely overruled them directly. When do we leave? He asked Hyun. She looked at him with surprise. We? I'm coming with you, he said. On your ship. The journey to the first slave facility took 3 days. The general spent most of it in the medical bay. The space travel worsened his condition. Hyun visited him the night before the attack. He was lying on a bed, medical machines beeping softly around him. Why did you come? She asked. You're dying. You should be on Earth. The general's eyes opened, still hard even now. To see what you became, he said. To see if I was wrong. You were wrong 10 years ago when you disowned me, Hyun said. Does it matter now? It matters to me. He coughed, the sound wet and painful. Your mother said you've become a weapon Earth created then threw away. And that bothers you? Hyun asked. That your weapon works for itself now, not for Earth? What bothers me, the general said slowly, is that I didn't see what you really were. Not a weapon. A leader. Hyun said nothing. This was not the conversation she had expected. The neural interface, the general continued. It was never meant for weapons. It was for coordination, communication, linking minds across space. You told me that at my trial, Hyun said. You said I stole military technology. I lied, the general admitted. It was easier to call you a traitor than to admit you were right about the bioweapons. The machines beeped in the silence between them. Tomorrow, the general said finally, I want to see how you fight, how you lead, before I die. If that's what you want, Hyun said, and left without looking back. The slave facility orbited a dead world with no name, just a number in Nexus Pact records. It was huge. A wheel-shaped station with spokes leading to a central hub. Guards patrolled in. Small ships. Defense cannons lined the outer ring. On the bridge of the Shameless, Yun sat in her command chair. The neural interface was fully active, silver lines glowing across her skin. Beside her, in a medical chair brought from the sick bay, sat the General. 7 guard ships, Yun said. 22 defense cannons, approximately 5,000 slaves inside. How can you know that? The general asked. I can feel the power usage, Hyun said. Life support systems, work machines, it tells me how many are there. She looked at her crew. At Tae, at the engineering, station, at me at weapons, at Han at the helm, at Morth and the others, all watching her with trust. We go in fast, she told them. Han, plot a course that keeps us in the shadow of the main station. Me, target the guard ships first, then the cannons. And the other facilities? Tae asked. The Pact will know we're coming after this. That's why we hit all 3 at once, Yun said. Our ship here, the rest of our fleet at the others, Earth's forces following behind to secure them. She closed, her eyes. Through the interface she connected to the other ships in her fleet, gave them final orders, synchronized their attacks. Begin, she said. The Shameless shot forward, engines at full power. The guard ships tried to intercept, but Han's flying was too good. He weaved between them, giving me clear shots with their weapons. Guard ships disabled, Mi reported. Moving to defense cannons. Hyun felt the station through her interface, felt the panic of the Pact commanders inside, felt their desperate calls for help that would come too late. Boarding team ready, Tae said. Hyun stood. I'll lead them myself. You? The general asked, surprised. The commander doesn't lead the boarding party. I'm not just a commander, Hyun said. The silver lines of her interface glowed brighter. I'm what you made me. The inside of the station was chaos, alarms blaring, lights flashing, Pact guards running in confusion as Hyun's team moved through the corridors with perfect coordination. Hyun walked at the front, the interface showing her the fastest route to the slave pens. When guards appeared, she didn't kill them, she disabled them, knocked them unconscious with precise strikes, or used her mind through the interface to overload their weapon systems. They reached the central hub, a huge room filled with thousands of people, men, women, children, all thin, all afraid, all wearing the same gray uniforms with numbers instead of names. As the guards surrendered, Hyun stepped forward, addressed the slaves in a clear voice. You are free, she said. Earth forces will be here soon to take you where you want to go, home if you have one, or somewhere new if you don't. A small girl stepped forward from the crowd, looked up at Hyun with wide eyes. Who are you? She asked. Hyun knelt down to Wei, the child's level. The silver lines of her interface caught the light. Someone who was once thrown away, she said softly. Like you, when they returned to the Shameless, reports were waiting. All 3 facilities secured, 15,000 slaves freed, the Nexus Pact in retreat across all fronts. The general was still in his chair on the bridge, but his eyes were closed. His breathing shallow. "Father," Hyun said. It was the first time she had called him that in 10 years. His eyes opened slowly. "I saw," he whispered. "I saw what you became. Not Earth's shame, Earth's legacy. The best of us." He reached up with a trembling hand, touched the silver lines on her face. "I was wrong," he said. "Can you forgive me before I die?" Hyun took his hand, felt how light it was, how fragile. "I forgave you years ago," she said. "That's why I could become something more than my anger." The general smiled faintly, his eyes closed. His hand went limp in hers. Hyun stood slowly, looked out at the stars, through the main window. "Set course for home," she told Han. "Earth?" he asked. "No," Hyun said. "The frontier, where we belong." Earth had exiled its shame, but the universe now carried her chains, chains that had grown from a small neural interface into a network that spanned the stars, chains that no longer bound her, but bound together those who had been cast aside, those who had been forgotten, those who, under her leadership, would never be forgotten again.